Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about Starknet, L2 and beyond. So basically how it's functioning currently, what are the current features are, and what's coming in the future. So just, I cannot see you quite well, but how many of you know about Starknet? How many of you have actually used Starknet? Okay, we could pump those numbers up a little bit, I think, by the end of the lecture. Okay, so just quickly about me. My name is Ivan, born and bred here in Split. Nice to be here presenting at a local conference. I'm an engineering manager at a company called SpaceShard. Here is my Twitter handle, so if you want to follow me or reach out to me, feel free to do so. About SpaceShard. We are a blockchain R&D company, and our mission is scaling Ethereum with validity rollup magic. We'll see what validity rollups mean, but basically we are strategic partners with the company called Starkware. They are an Israeli unicorn company that started with a product called StarkX, which is a software as a service standalone ZK rollup on Ethereum. And basically, their total numbers until recently are close to 500 million transactions, and some cumulative trading is closing into $1 trillion. So one of the most, let's say, famous apps that they scale are DYDX and ImmutableX, Sorare, and there are many more. So after they saw that this technology makes sense, they decided to create a permissionless, decentralized, with a star, we'll see why, validity rollup called Starknet. So the idea is for everyone, for all developers, users to use Starknet and deploy their apps and achieve unlimited scale on Ethereum. So our work on Starknet includes a couple of tooling products for developers. For example, DevNet, which you can imagine like Ganache for Starknet. We have a plugin for Hardhat for Starknet, and we have Starknet.js, which is basically Ethers.js for Starknet. And another thing that we do is basically we provide consulting and help two projects that want to come over to Starknet. And one we are very proud of, one partnership with Chainlink. We actually help them with our knowledge to come over and provide their oracles to the Starknet L2. Okay, so basically you all know the story. It's again becoming relevant with the Pepe coins and all the meme coins. Like Ethereum fees are too damn high. So this article is from 2021. And how can we fix it? So basically there are two possibilities on how to scale a blockchain. First is to make the blockchain itself have a higher transaction capacity. What you can do is one of the techniques is sharding. This should at some point probably come to Ethereum. And the second thing that's already happening, it's in high development, is performing the bulk of the activity outside of the original chain, in our case Ethereum, and that's the layer 2s, or layer 3s, layer 4s, etc. So layer 2s, or as you can call them also rollups, what do? They basically process transactions off the main chain, in our case Ethereum, and then you batch them, compress them, so replacing data with computation, and you bring back that transaction data to the main chain, as we said, Ethereum. So basically you can take hundreds of transactions on L2, compress them to just one transaction, generate a so-called proof, and post it on the original chain. So in this case, Ethereum provides security, data availability, decentralization, but L2 provides scaling. So this is kind of solving that famous blockchain trilemma. Before we jump to Starknet, I want to mention ZK EVMs. So these are layer 2s that are aiming for compatibility with Ethereum. So basically the idea is that you can port your existing dApps from Ethereum almost one-to-one without many modifications to the rollup or L2. Some of the projects are ZK Sync, Polygon ZKVM, and Scroll ZKVM. You probably maybe heard about them. They are still you know, evolving as Starknet is, but Starknet is a little bit longer on actual mainnet. Okay, so now we can come to, you know, the Starknet. Basically, what are its current features? How it's working? So Starknet technology is based on validity proofs. They are an implementation of zero knowledge proofs, ZK proofs. ZK proofs are guaranteeing computational integrity. So what does that mean? There's a quote that says that this means that doing the right thing even when no one is watching. So that's the point of zero knowledge proofs. Like you have a guarantee. You don't even need to trust the other party. You just need to verify the proof that it sends in order to be sure if the information is correct or not. So one thing to note, currently it's not about privacy. Aztec was the only basically layer 2 that provided privacy. The current ZK, the other ZK proofs, as I mentioned, and Starknet also are about scaling. And yeah, ZK rollup is a misnomer. Starknet is a validity rollup, as already mentioned. And Starknet uses Starks instead of Snarks. A short comparison between Starks and Snarks. So most important thing is that, okay, you have a proof size of Starks is a little bit bigger, but you have opposed to that, you have a quicker verification time. You don't need a trusted setup, so that's a cool feature, and they are quantum secure, which is future proof basically. So Starks are here to stay. That's one important. This technology is here, and it will be valid in the next, I don't know, 50, 100 years or whatever. So that's an important thing to note. Maybe you know that Starknet uses its own language. Starkware invented a language called Cairo, and it's running on top of a Cairo VM. So why did they do this? Why didn't they use Solidity or some language that's already familiar with, that most of the developers are already familiar? Basically, it's a trade-off. With the Cairo, you have the best performance that you can get for generating proofs. And with ZKVMs, so you have better compatibility. But with better compatibility, you have lower performance and vice versa. So it's a trade-off. You cannot have, unfortunately, currently, you cannot have the best of, you cannot have both. So, as I mentioned, Cairo, the first version, Cairo 0, it was released in 2020. It was the first provable programming language. It can be used outside of blockchain, so it's a general purpose language, Turing complete, of course. But the first version, 0, was low level. It some parts it resembled assembly. So if any one of you developed in assembly, you know what I'm talking about. You can really like go low level memory things, and you do all the little registers and copying and doing all the crazy stuff. So, but that's not very user friendly, right? So steep learning curve. One minus was also that you couldn't generate a proof for failed executions, which is a attack vector. The sequencer cannot be compensated for failed transactions. Cairo's evolution brought us Cairo version 1, which is a higher level language. It's very similar to Rust. So if you're a Rust developer, you would be more familiar with Cairo 1. It should be easier for you to jump over and learn it. It has an intermediate representation called Sierra, and it solves the already mentioned problem with failed transactions. So we don't have, sequencers with Cairo 1 are always compensated. We don't have this attack vector anymore. Cairo 1 is live, so you can try it out. It's still being, features are being added constantly and very quickly. And there's some event that's gonna come in the next couple of months called Regenesis, which will basically disable Cairo 0 code. So after that, after Regenesis, only Cairo 1 code smart contracts will be possible to deploy on Starknet. Shortly about Starknet's architecture. So we have the sequencer is the it's one of the three most important parts of the architecture. It validates, executes, and bundles transactions into blocks. We have the prover, which creates Stark proofs for Starknet and StarkX in this case, and the verifier, which is an L1 Ethereum smart contract that verifies these proofs that are sent from L2. We'll skip these two for now. So one of the most important features that are baked into the protocol is the account abstraction. You maybe already heard about it. With the ERC 4337 ape, so it's a mistake, I think, or it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's added to Ethereum, but not on the protocol level. It's added on the application level. So you can now kind of mimic account abstraction on Ethereum, but on Starknet it's baked from the get-go. The goal is to make smart contract wallets first-class citizens. So what this means, you can do a lot of crazy stuff with your wallets now that was not possible before on Ethereum. So some of the benefits include you can change the signature verification, you can bundle transactions and save on gas. It's called multi-call in our case. You can pay fees with non-native tokens. So you can choose various tokens to pay the fees. And you can do something called paymaster, so like payment delegations. Someone else can pay fees for you. For example, if you want to like delegate these payment of fees. So I already mentioned on Ethereum it's on the application level. Account abstraction on Starknet is on the protocol level. We'll just quickly skip this to another cool feature. So account abstraction enables you to turn your smartphone basically into a hardware wallet. So this is already existing on Starknet. We have a wallet called Bravos, which has this feature on. You can basically turn, if your smartphone is supporting the Apples and Samsungs, they have this dedicated processor, the secure enclave, which enables for your smartphone to become a hardware signer. So that's also one cool feature of account abstraction. This can be used also on laptops and PCs. So I already mentioned multi-call. It's bundling multiple transactions into a single transaction. If you see that block with step 1, step 2, these are all like you can mitigate all these problems with bots like sandwiching attacks and stuff like that if you bundle them into a multi-call. And at the end you save on gas fees. So quickly a summary, signature verification, transaction execution, defined as a smart contract. First-class citizen on Starknet, bundling of user operations. One important thing, if you are coming to Starknet, if you create a wallet, an address will be generated for you off-chain, and then you need to pay. You need to add first Ethereum. And then you can deploy the smart contract wallet. So just don't be confused. This is a similar mechanism as with Near, with the Near blockchain. And it's a protection against spam. So you cannot like create new smart contracts and spam the network constantly. So you have to pay in advance for the deployment of your smart contract wallet. And one other cool thing is session keys for gaming. Basically, it means that with account abstraction, you can say, okay, I don't care about transactions that are worth less than $1. Sign them automatically for me. So that's a cool thing for gaming. Like it enables so that the wallet doesn't constantly, pop up and ask you for signing for each and every transaction. Another cool feature, we have time to finality. It's a lot quicker than on optimistic rollups. This is the most secure one. If you want to be most security is 10 hours, but if you want, you can wait just a couple of minutes for finality on L2 if you don't care of the Ethereum security. All this is nice, but currently we have to be honest and say that there are some problems on Starknet that will be solved pretty soon. I want to emphasize that it's evolving pretty fast. So we have low TPS currently. There's low TVL, but with the upcoming token, Stark token, potentially did I hear airdrop or something? I don't know. This TVL will rise. Everything is not yet fully open sourced. It's a bit rough around the edges, and you have to learn a new language. But it's also an opportunity because everything is, there's a really opportunity for people to become recognized and do some cool stuff, because it's still, let's say, early. There's still room for, to gain reputation in the ecosystem. Okay, so now we'll jump into the future to see what's coming by the end of the year, basically. So we have the centralization roadmap. This is gonna maybe take a little bit more time, but we have the sequencer is currently centralized, but they have a plan and research on how to decentralize the sequencer. It's currently written in Python. We have the whole stack is being rewritten to Rust. This is also opportunity to come and help, and even get paid for your contributions. Full nodes still miss peer-to-peer functionalities. This is also being done. Prover is still not yet open source, but it will be very soon. We have the Starknet Foundation. It was created by the end of last year, and the goal is to make Starknet a public good. They have a certain amount of tokens that are, meant to be distributed to the ecosystem for various projects. So yeah, that's something to maybe consider. Token holders can vote or delegate on the protocol changes. So I already mentioned the Rustification of the whole stack. It's mostly written in Python. It's very slow. So yeah, rewrite into Rust is being done. And I don't know, there's some gains like 20 times faster and 12 times less memory and stuff like that. So that's very, very soon on the roadmap. One cool feature to mention quickly, I'm losing a little bit of time, but basically Volition will save a lot of gas fees. The idea is to allow the hybrid data availability, so you can store data on-chain and off-chain. So, and the idea is, for example, currently 95% of transaction cost is the actual data cost on Ethereum. So if we move all of that data, we don't need to send it to Ethereum. We can save a lot on the cost current. And also with the proto-dank sharding that's also coming to Ethereum, this will also reduce the cost on Starknet. They plan to integrate it as soon as possible. Cool thing, also second cool thing is storage proofs. The idea is that you can create a small verifiable cryptographic proof on some other chain and verify it on some, on, I don't know, ZK Sync, and verify it on Starknet. So this allows you for some cool use cases. For example, simplified cross-chain voting, and it can be an alternative to cross-chain bridges. How can I achieve this? I can prove that I have 100 Ethereum, for example, on Ethereum. I have a proof for this, and I can vote with this proof on Starknet, where it's much cheaper to execute that transaction. So this is the idea, and the idea is to be cross-chain. The benefit would be cross-chain. Fractal scaling, another cool upcoming thing. So we have layer 2. I've been mostly talking about layer 2, but we have also like layer 3. That's so the idea is that you can deploy your own layer 3, modify it the way you want. Like one can have basically app chains. You can deploy app chains. You can have higher TPS or cheaper transactions, or you can have privacy. Some features that are not on the L2 protocol. You can change them. You can generate proofs, send them to L2, and bundle them again, and then send them to L1. So this is the idea. What is enabling this is Madara. It's an open source Starknet sequencer built on Rust and on top of Substrate. It already has in testing 200 TPS. So the idea is that you can deploy Madara and bundle it into a layer 3, and for example, use it, I don't know, on gaming or whatever you feel you need. It's open for contributions. You can even get paid for your contributions. Other cool thing, Kakarot, basically ZKVM built on top of Cairo. This will also be one of the layer 3s. So the idea is basically to port your Ethereum dApps. yeah, execute Solidity code in a completely Stark provable way. Also open for contributions. And yeah, this is basically it. I'm just 10 seconds over time. So yeah, this is just a quick summary. Ongoing work on speed, fractal scaling for layers, tech stack being rewritten to Rust, and that's it. Thank you. A lot of info, I know, but yeah, I wanted to give you the best of what's coming. We don't have any time for questions, but if you want, grab me in front, and I'll be happy to tell you more about Starknet. Thanks.